Hey team, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to break down a sloping putt, giving you a better idea on how to attack your sloping putts when you're on the course, which should hopefully improve your visualization and then your ability to obviously hold more sloping putts, because they're probably the most difficult putts on the course that we're going to be faced with. Okay, so let's get into it. So as you can see here, I'm faced with a sloping putt myself. This is a 10-foot putt, left to righter. In terms of sort of judging whether it's left to right or right to left, there's many different clues that you can firstly look at. Firstly, if you can't tell just by looking at the putt and sort of analysing whether the slopes go in a certain way, look around the green, because there'll be clues and there'll be sort of general slopes on the green. If you can't tell by looking around at the green, then look around at the rest of the course. So outside of the green, which part of the ground's higher than which part of the ground. So generally here, everything seems to be going more from left to right. This hill up here slopes down and the low points all around here. Same with outside of the green. That part of the course is definitely higher than this part of the course down here. So everything seems to be going this way. Obviously then it's just about trying to now judge when you've got the left to right or the right to left element of it. So once you've analysed where the slope's heading, then it's about sort of deciding how far outside to aim, and that's obviously the most important bit. And the most common thing people do is they always underread the putt, and this sort of diagram here is going to really allow you to analyse how a sloping putt works and hopefully stop you from underreading or just incorrectly reading the putt. So as you can see here, I've got a diagram laid out, and this is 2/3 of the way. This is a 10-foot putt, okay, and this is laid out around about 6.5 feet. What you can see here is I've got the straight line of the putt, so in line with the ball and the hole, there's the tee, so that is the straight line. Then this is the curve point, and this is the start line. Okay, so how a sloping putt works is the first 2/3 of the putt breaks the same amount in the first 2/3 as what it does in the last third. So there's 3 elements of the putt that we need to get right when we have a sloping putt, and that's going to be our start line, our drop point / our curve point, and then the straight line of the putt. That's going to allow you to really analyze the ball trajectory of a putt. What most people do is they actually forget out the first bit. They actually aim straight at the curve point and then end up missing low. So then obviously if that is my start line, which most people end up playing their start line at the curve point instead, that means the ball's going to break in the first 2/3 to here, and then it's probably going to finish there. So you can see how the curve point of the putt is always in the middle of the straight line of the putt and then the start line of the putt. So let's have a go and show you straight away. So I'm going to aim at the start line, which is obviously, as you can see, much higher than probably what most people will play. So only really going to stay on the start line for the first third. Okay, so obviously as it's a plane slope, it's going to always keep breaking. Even as soon as the putt's hit, the ball's going to start to break. So it's only really going to stay on the start line till about here. Then it's going to start to curve, to roll over this point. Then it's going to curve that same amount in the last third. The reason why it curves the same amount in the last third is because that's when the putt's slowing down. And the slower the ball moves, the more the ball breaks. That's why in the first 2/3, where the putt is going at more of a quicker ball speed, the slope's not affecting it as much. So you can see there, after a couple of attempts, you can see how that putt works. In that first 2/3, where the putt was going at quite a fairly quick pace, obviously this is an uphill putt as well, so I needed it a little bit harder. So in that first 2/3, that putt was rolling fairly quick. That means it's only going to break this amount in the first 2/3. And then as you saw, as it started to die down because the pace was correct, then obviously it broke down into that last third, and it broke the same amount in the last third as it did in the first 2/3. Obviously, when it comes to sloping putts and say visualization and green reading, there's no real incorrect answer. I could have played this putt starting probably here, which means it would have dropped around about there and then broke in. That would mean I would need to play it on a much firmer pace. And I also could have played it probably on a seriously dead weight pace. I could have aimed it all the way up here, okay, possibly on a really, really dead weight pace. That then it means it would have broke to here and then it would have broke in. So you can see how the diagram stays the same in terms of the structure of it. Obviously, the pace you decide to play is completely up to you. I'd always go for that sort of medium pace, just so if it missed and it went past the hole, you'd only be missing it by around about, say, 1 foot to 2 feet long. Okay, so nothing too hard, nothing too firm. What you can also do with this drill is you can experiment playing the high line at a softer pace, playing the low line at a harder pace, and that's just going to get you better at matching line with speed. And that's all green reading and sloping putts is at the end of the day. It's about being the best at matching your line with your speed. And this is what this drill is going to help you do. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video on sloping putts. That's a really, really good drill just to understand how a sloping putt works. If you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Anything else that you'd like me to cover in next week's video, please drop a comment in the comment section below. I film these videos weekly, so I'll have time to look at the comments and then film it for you, and then hopefully have it out by that following Sunday. Okay, so thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you soon.